Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sane, and today I'm going to be starting a little video series I'm doing, which is going to be a 3 houses early game maddening guide. There's a lot of guides out there for maddening mode, but this one's going to be really focusing on the early game and how to survive those first 5 chapters or so, because that's really where the brutality is just sitting there. You don't really have a lot of creativity you can do there. You kind of have to stick with a couple things just to make sure you get past those chapters. And then from there on, you can usually kind of express the freedom that Fire Emblem Three Houses gives you. Start playing with these classes, stuff like that. But for those first 5 chapters, I'm going to give you a little guide on what you should really be focusing on in terms of teaching your students and how you should be using them. And then as well as I'll throw in a little end game reasoning why this is good and why this can help you in the end game, and some good ending game classes, stuff like that. This is going to be taking into consideration maddening mode on a fresh file, so no new game plus, and this will take into consideration DLC, but that really won't be doing much for the guide. And maybe just for some advanced classes for the end. I will also be doing a video on the DLC characters. So I'm just going to start with the Black Eagles for now. So first off is Edelgard. Edelgard, you definitely want to focus her axes. Smash is an amazing combat art. And she gets it at base. She very quickly gets Helm Splitter, which can be effective against knights. You don't see a lot of knights. You see a couple in Mutiny in the Mist, as well as the Tower chapter. Sylvain's older brother is an armored knight, and there's also a Fortress Knight and a couple other armored knights in that level. So Helm Splitter is really going to help you out with that. And then she also gets Monster Breaker at C plus axe, which she can get really quickly, and that's going to help against Sylvain's older brother once he transforms, into the crazy beast or anything like that. And that's going to be one of the early. That's probably probably the hardest early game chapter. So giving her some combat arts that really help you out there, you're going to be spamming combat arts all the time. So yeah, Smash is going to be very good at base. I think just let her focus her axes, get her axe prowess up as much as possible, give her more hit, more void, give her Helm Splitter, give her Monster Breaker, and she's gonna do a lot for you. She has a really easy, like free path into Brigand, so you can get Deathblow very easily, which is gonna be super effective. And then for endgame, she's easily prepared to go into something like Wyvern Lord, or you can take her to Emperor if you want. You're losing a lot of speed with Emperor, but you do get more bulk overall. But I think Wyvern Lord is just overall a way better class. She performs amazing in it. Yeah, so just definitely focus her axes. I don't think you want to waste your time with her magic or her swords or anything like that, at least at the very beginning. Next is Hubert. Hubert, you just definitely want to focus his magic. Don't do anything with his weapons. He's not really good with weapons ever anyways. Hubert, he gets Miasma at base, which is going to do a lot of good chip damage. He also gets Meyer B at D+, Reason, and Banshee at C, so he can do a lot of good chip damage and also debuff a lot of enemies, which is important because the enemies you fight in Maddening mode are insanely strong. You can also get pushes Faith. He has a weakness in Faith, but if you want to push it, you can get through it through the church choir and stuff like that. And he does get recover, which is going to be very helpful because you take a lot of damage and you don't have a lot of healing at the beginning. You're going to be using a lot of vulneraries. So if you want to grind through to get him recover, that's going to help you out support wise. But make sure you just get him those attack spells. He's going to do a lot of damage. He can debuff enemies. He's going to be super good. He's got a free entry into mage, so he can get Fiendish Blow, which is going to help him out. And then for endgame, I strongly recommend 10 out of 10 times. Always take him into Dark Knight. Don't worry about Dark Bishop. Dark Bishop is not a very good class. You could take him into Dark Mage if you want to give him Poison Strike, just to make him do more chip damage. I think it's better just to go Mage. You can do Dark Mage if you want. Make him go Warlock or whatever you want. And then just have him end off in Dark Knight. It's an amazing class for him. He does so good in that. Next up is Ferdinand von Eyre. He should definitely just focus on his lances at first, because he gets Tempest Lance at base, which is probably the best combat art in the game, especially early game. And then he quickly gets Knight Kneeler, which is going to help against some Cavalier units, specifically like Lord Lenato, which you fight in Mutiny of the Mist. In my Maddening playthrough, I had Knight Kneeler on Dimitri, and he did insane damage to him. Knight Kneeler is really helpful, while something like Tempest Lance didn't do very much to him. And then he quickly gets Shatter Slash, which can debuff enemies and give -5 defense to them. So once you get Shatter Slash, really scary enemies, he can use it on them, debuff them, make them a lot easier to take down. He has good proficiency in axes, so he can get into brigand pretty quickly. You want to focus his lance at least till he gets, Night Kneeler. I think you should go for Shadow Slash, and then you can focus his axes to get him into brigand class, master that for death blow. And then for the end game, he has very easy access to something like Paladin, which gives him lance fares, and he gets swift strikes at A skill with lances, and swift strikes is amazing, so that's gonna be a really good combo. He also can easily make it into Wyvern Lord if you want to work on his axes, or even just go lances without lance fare, put him on a flyer. He's very great in that class. You can also go into his armor to get weight -3, but I think he's got good enough speed. I don't think it's quite that worth it. I think, especially in like in a fresh file, just definitely get him into Brigand. You can get him to weight -3 if you really want, and then easy access into Paladin or Wyvern Lord. Super great classes for him. He can turn out to be a really good unit. Linhart is going to be, you definitely want to focus his magic, kind of the same thing as Hubert, but this time you want to focus his reason magic. He has heal and Nosferatu at base, so he's going to be a healer, and he very quickly gets Physic, which is really, really useful, especially, early game you're not really moving as far apart from the group, but Physic just gives more heal uses, and is the best healing spell in the game, so you definitely want it. He also gets Wind at D reason, so he can get some good chip damage in. He overall does decent chip damage. You definitely want to just start him in Mage to get Fiendish Blow. You can definitely take him to Dark Mage to give him Poison Strike, just to make sure he does more chip damage. Poison Strike isn't super worth it, so definitely go Mage first. You can do that otherwise if you want to, and then end game, you should definitely just take him into Bishop for healing and Warp. He can be fine as a Warlock to do some good reason damage with a Black Tome Fair, but overall he's just way better as a Bishop. Give better healing with Physic and just really good warp range. He's a very good support character. Kaspar is, honestly, he's kind of your bench warmer, but if you do want to use him, he does come with Smash at base, which is very good. He does also get Helm Splitter at C, same thing as Edelgard, which can be really helpful against Sylvain's brother, and the other Armor Knights, Fortress Knights you get. I think you should definitely focus his axe. He also gets Wild Abandon, which can do a lot of damage. It's risky, but you can do a lot of damage with it. If you do train his Brawl up, he does get Bombard at C+, which is 2 consecutive strikes. But overall, I don't think it's going to be as important as the axe skills. He's got super easy access into Brigand for Death Blow, and then end game, he very easily makes it into War Master. You can also turn him into Wyvern Lord pretty easily. Again, he's not a great character. I'd definitely say he's probably one of your bench warmers. He can turn into an adjutant and be a really good guard adjutant if he's a grappler or a brawler or a war master. Guard adjutants are super useful. So he could definitely be a good adjutant. Keep him leveled, but otherwise just let him play with his axes, let him play with his brawls. It's pretty simple. Bernadetta, I would say you want to start off with her bow focus. She's probably the best base archer. She does come with a curve shot. She also gets Deadeye at C+. The only other character who gets Deadeye is Ashe. Her personal ability is super useful for beginning of Maddening, because when she's at not full HP, she gets +5 damage, so she effectively gets Death Blow at base. Characters like Felix and Yuri also have similar skills, and that makes them super useful. So she has got really easy way to boost her damage output. She also has a super easy path into Archer to get hit +20 to increase her accuracy. She does get Vengeance at C+ Lance. I think you should definitely focus bows first, but getting her Vengeance very quickly can make her do insane amount of damage. She can be, let her take a hit, be at low HP. She goes in with Vengeance with like a Steel Lance, and she just obliterates like everything. She one-shot the Death Knight. It's insane. End game, she's got a very easy path into Sniper for Bow Knight, so she can use Hunter's Volley, or Bow Knight be on a horseback. She can be a Paladin if you really want to abuse Vengeance. Let her get Lancefare with Vengeance with Lancefare. Get her riding up so she gets Pass, which is a very useful skill. She also makes a very solid Falcon Knight. I recommend Paladin over Falcon Knight just because Paladin can use guard adjutants. For example, you could use Ashe as a guard adjutant for her. But she can make a very solid Falcon Knight if you want her to be a flyer. Otherwise, again, very simple bow. bow user. She has the encloser, a sniper, so very simple, very easy to use, very useful. Dorothea is kind of the same thing as. Actually, I guess she's a perfect mix between Linhart and Hubert. She comes with Thunder at base, which is going to be a pretty good attack spell overall. She gets Thor on pretty quickly, so she can get 3 ranged spells. But you definitely want to focus her Faith magic as well, because she does get Physic at Sea Faith, and that's going to help her out on the supportive side very, very well. She easily gets into Mage for Fiendish Blow. Same thing as the other mages, you want to give her Fiendish Blow. And then end game, I think she's got an easy path, and it really works really well as in Warlock or Grimoire. So she gets double Meteor uses, double Physic uses for Grimoire. She also gets Black Tome Fair for Warlock, so both those two classes are very good for her being offensive. Grimoire a little bit better for her being defensive. You can make her a bishop, but I think she's better offensive personally, especially if you've already got Linhart, who's your main bishop. She also makes a fantastic dancer. Is one of the best dancers in the game. Gets easy linked attacks with Meteor, so she doesn't have to be very up close. Can just dance, obviously. She's got good sword proficiency, so she can get Sword of Void. She doesn't really get much from using sword, but you can get her sword prowess up, I guess, and then Sword of Void and give her like a training sword, put her in a bush, and she can dodge pretty well. But other than that, she's just very good like offense, defense, or offense and support character. Fills a lot of roles. Definitely focus her magic. Really helpful early on. Magic is really useful early on. And then the last character, the Black Eagles, is Petra. Again, with her, she does start with Wrath Strike at base, but I think it's going to be more worth your time to really go into bows at first, just so she can get Curve Shot. She starts with an E+ rank in bows, so you can get Curve Shot very quickly. You can also get Waning Shot, which is going to debuff enemies' attack stats, -5 to their attack at C+ bows. So that can be very useful. I say at least get Curve Shot, because bows are going to be a nice 2-range option for her. Curve Shot is going to be a good 3-range option. She's going to avoid counterattack. She's also got good dex already, so she can hit from afar pretty well. She has a good axe proficiency, so she can easily get into Brigand for Death Blow. You can also train her axes if you want to get Smash and Helm Splitter, stuff like that. She has good axe combat arts as well, but I think you definitely want to focus bows at the beginning, so you can have Curve Shot. So that way you have Bernadetta and Petra both hitting from super far away, not getting counterattacked with Curve Shot. Very helpful. And then for endgame, I will always recommend Wyvern Lord for her. She has a super easy path into it. She fits into it perfectly. It patches up her strength, patches up her defense. She uses axes very well. She also gets a lot of speed, so she can use the Avoid +10 very well. If you really want to run her to be a dodge tank, she can be a super solid assassin, swordmaster. She might be lacking in strength and defense, so she's a little squishy, but she gets insane speed. It's really good. She can also be a good dancer. If you want a non-magic focused dancer, I definitely don't think you should focus her magic. She doesn't really get very much with it. But if you want to give her Sword of Void, let her be a dancer. She can be in the front lines and bushes and dodge pretty well. So that's going to do it for the Black Eagle section. I'm going to be doing the Blue Lions next, and the Golden Deer, and then I'll do the 4 DLC characters. I'm not really going to do the Church of Saros or any teachers or anything like that, because they're not really early game. They're not really involved in the first 5 chapters, so I'm not really going to count them in this list. This is really focused on early game specifically, and how to use them and how you should use them for the best success in early game of Maddening, no matter which route you're on. So yeah, hope you guys liked this video. Stay tuned to the channel if you want to see the Blue Lion section, the Golden Deer section, and the Ashen Wolves section as well. And I will see you guys in the next video.